Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for watching On the Town with Tanya, and I'm your host. This week, we are talking about hip hop, all things hip hop in the 914. And, well, not just hip hop, there's a lot of great people that come out of Westchester. So we'll be talking about it today. Today's guest is the editor in chief at Black Westchester Magazine. He is the author of We've Got Our Own Thing, Mr. AJ Woodson. Hello, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. My
Thank you
gosh.
for having me.
Let me see that book cover again. Check it out, guys. Oh, yeah. We got our own thing. There we go. Okay. So this book.
And a shout out to my daughter, Paula Sherelle Woodson. She's done all my book covers. She did this the third one. She did the cover.
Okay. Hey,
Yes.
Paula. How are you? So happy. Yeah, she did the cover.
Yeah, she did the cover. She lays it out for me the whole night. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Got some technological skills up in here.
Yep.
That's awesome. So we got our own thing. And I know there's extra to that title.
A
So
look at hip hop from the 914.
that very important part. Very important. So we have had a lot of legends. What made you decide to go and write this book? Maybe you can give us a little bit your background and how you got into hip hop and the whole scene.
Well, going way back in the days, I used to be in a rap group called JVC Force. Had a record called Strong Island, which is kind of the reason they call Long Island Strong Island. Back in '88, Red Alert used to play it to death. Then I was writing for a bunch of magazines, The Source. It started out with like Word Up and Right On, the fanzines, then The Source, The Village Voice, a bunch of underground magazines that's not around no more. And I was doing that. Now, with this book, it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And every region was talking about how their region wasn't being represented enough. You know, they was complaining, they ain't got enough artists from the South. They ain't got enough artists from Chicago. They ain't got enough West Coast. So, I mean, I could have did the same thing, but, I've been documenting everything in Westchester, so I decided to document, the history of hip hop in Westchester.
Okay.
And I wanted to show the importance because, back in the days, if you wasn't from one of the five boroughs, you wasn't really respected in hip hop. But
Yes.
Mount Vernon and Yonkers are attached to the Bronx, which is the birthplace of hip hop. So
Yes.
as long as it was going on in the Bronx, it was always going on in Mount Vernon and Yonkers and a little bit of New Rochelle, but nobody really knew. So I wanted to show that history, some of the legends that came through and that was holding it down, the graffiti artists, the DJs with the big sound systems like the Collins brothers. And I wanted to show all of that. So hopefully when people after reading this book, they'll put some respect on the 914 when they talk about 914 and hip hop. And then the second part was Pete Rock. I had already started the book, but Pete Rock was complaining that not enough of these celebrations celebrated Heavy D, which is his older cousin.
Oh, okay.
Even the Grammys, when they had Dougie Fresh on there and he was saying all the names of all the artists,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't mention Heavy D, all the artists that had passed. It mentioned
Wow.
DMX and all that. So it was just like, so that was another inspiration, and that's what the title, it's a Heavy D song. We Got Our Own Thing was a Heavy D song. So I made it, one of his titles and I wanted to celebrate him. And there's a whole chapter remembering Heavy D. There's a whole chapter remembering DMX. And then,
wow, that is absolutely brilliant. Because you're right. When I look back now and I think that I don't remember his name.
They had mentioned and they said the names, and then Dougie Fresh started beatboxing. They did all these names and all these people's names, and I was like, "Yo, what happened to Have?" Like, and Pete Rock already put that in my head with that tweet he put out. So I was like, "Yo, they didn't mention Heavy D." Like,
wow.
And Heavy D was important to a lot of people. A lot of people's careers. There was an article that I was reading. With Joaquin Dean, who's one of the guys who started Rough Riders.
Yes.
Once he started it, he went and had a meeting with Heavy D. He met up with Heavy D, and Heavy D was telling him what you got to do. You got to get you a hot artist and put some, and gave him kind of the recipe of how to start Rough Riders, and that's what they did. They got DMX, and Rough Riders became what it is. But it was Heavy D's advice that helped that. You know,
Wow, that's amazing. There is so much history. It's like I went by was it Rough Rider Studios in Yonkers once. I was walking by with someone and they were telling me the history of it, and I was like, wow, that's just amazing to think that all the talent that came out of one place. It's just amazing.
right,
Mount
right.
Vernon, we got Yonkers. What else? We got a
New
couple
Rochelle.
Rochelle, quite a few places. But first, before I get into that, can you tell us the difference between hip hop and rap? Because I know, but I want people to know because to me, there's a distinct difference.
So rap is the music, hip
Mm-hmm.
hop is the culture. The
Mm,
culture of hip hop,
mm.
um, the culture of hip hop is rap, the music,
Yes.
DJing. Well,
Yes.
and not excuse me,
Graffiti.
MCing. Let me say
Mhm.
MCing and
That's right.
DJing,
Breaking.
graffiti
Breaking.
and breaking. You know what I'm saying? And b-boying,
Yes.
and all of those are the elements. And then you could add. I add fashion because this fashion is we've always been everything we did
Oh,
has been a fashion. We created fashion, so I add that and a couple of other things. But those are the four. Those are like the building blocks of hip hop. Like the building of hip hop sits on those four um,
pillars. Yes.
pillars, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And oh wait, did we say turntabling? Or that goes with
So
DJ?
that be that's DJing, but and it's important, and I talk about turntablists. There's one DJ DJ Supreme. He lives in New Rochelle.
Mm-hmm.
He's won the DMC. He's won all those contests.
Mm-hmm.
He was the tour DJ for Lauryn Hill,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done all of these different things. But and even when I see him now, he's keeping turntablism alive. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, he's still using vinyl records and
Yes.
still
Yes.
DJing. You know, a lot of people have the machines and the computer and all that stuff and
No,
everything,
I
and
know. Yeah.
and it rocks the crowd if you know what you're doing.
Right.
Because there's DJs that have transitioned to that because it's easier. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But turntablism, scratching. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Just the whole thing. That's a lost art. That's and DJs. Let me just say this too. So DJs.
Mm-hmm.
So hip hop, as far as the music,
Mm-hmm.
started with the DJ. The
Okay.
DJ would come out, the DJ would bring his system, the
Mm-hmm.
DJ would have microphones, the DJ would have one or two guys on the mic just to say his name, like, oh, this is DJ so and such and such and such, and just to hype up what he was doing while he was DJing. Then,
Right.
eventually, the next dude would get on the mic and he'd be like, oh, and by the way, my name is so and so. And
Right.
then the next one might get on the mic and be like, by the way, my name is so and so, and I'm better than the last dude. And then
Yes.
more MC competition happened. But
Mm-hmm.
then when rap music became recorded in the music industry,
Mm-hmm.
they tried to kill the DJ
Uh,
and they would only sign the MCs. Like Big Daddy Kane was signed, Mr. C wasn't signed. You
I
know what I'm
know.
saying? If it
No.
wasn't a group that had the DJ's name, like um um uh DJ Polo and Cool G Rap or Jazzy
Mhm.
Jeff and the Fresh Prince,
Mhm.
the DJ wasn't part of the group. He
Yes.
wasn't signed to
And
a contract.
yeah, no, that happened. Yeah, that happened a lot because even with third base, right? They had DJ
Right,
Richie Rich, but he
right,
got put in later or something like
right.
that. I don't
So
think that
so so with Heavy D and the boys, Eddie F was Heavy's partner in the group. Like they
mm,
were equal partners. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? He was a member of the group. Our group
mm,
was like that too. Our DJ was the third member of the group. He was on the contract.
right.
Before that, EPMD went through several DJs and so I just want to say that because without the DJ, none of this happens. You know what
Nope.
I'm saying? The DJ
Nope.
kicks it off, and then there was a point where the industry was trying to get us not to use DJs. You would put a show tape on that and you play the dat. We never did that. We always had the DJ. But
Yes, it's all about the money. They were trying to eliminate the extra money.
right.
That's
So
what it is.
they didn't want to pay for the DJ to travel with the rapper.
Yep.
But I just since we're giving love to hip hop, I want to start out just giving love to the DJ. And I do have a section, hey Mr. DJ, where I give love to some of the 914 DJs
That
in the
is
book. Yeah.
fabulous. Oh man, I can't wait to get my copy because I know a lot of DJs, and my favorite, of course, is my daughter's godfather out here in London. from the Cash Crew. He was from the original Cash Crew in the '80s.
Hmm.
DJ Luce, but him, not just him. There's tons of them. Kirk. There's a lot of them out
So
here.
you're in London? I never knew
Yeah.
where you were.
I'm
Okay.
from Westchester, but I'm out.
Okay, yeah, they London, the UK is
Yo,
one of the
they
places
killing
that
it.
gave my group the most love. Like even to this day, like
Yeah,
they still
yes, it is.
Tim
Yeah,
Westwood, all it mad love to
yes.
the UK.
It
Yes.
is. It is. It's crazy out here, and I'm trying to get them to do a documentary. And I think that everybody should put one together, all together, because guess what? What affects one part of the world affects the other part of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
I used to love going to Skate Key and all them places out. In, what was it out in Queens? They had a place where all the hip hop people had the ciphers and stuff. I used to love that stuff.
Hmm.
But if I was in London, they love it too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They love it no matter Switzerland, wherever they at, they
Nah,
love
we
it.
got overseas gives us a lot of love. Like like I said, the UK, Germany, Japan.
Yes.
These DJs still play. Paris, they still
Yes.
play our
Oh yeah.
music. They
Oh yeah.
still
Oh
keep
yeah.
us in rotation. They still give us a lot of love. Like Strong Island, we just celebrated the 36th anniversary, and that's because of all those hip hop heads and DJs across the world that kept us alive.
Wow. So see,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a phenomenal thing to me. I think it saved a lot of lives, hip hop, in all
Hip,
honesty.
I just had a conversation. The problem that people have with hip hop,
Mhm.
a lot of people
Mhm.
who would have never had real jobs in corporate America, that were
Mhm.
like street dudes, that maybe, whatever. Hip hop gave them careers as
Mhm.
managers, as record company owners, as, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
they went on and built fashion and all the stuff. A lot of these are street
Yes.
kids that normally without hip hop might be dead or in jail, might have been doing the drug game, might have transitioned from the drug game. And he gave
Yes.
all of shout to Red Alert. Red Alert is
Yes.
the first DJ who played our record
Yes.
and broke us in January New Year's Eve,
February.
1988. Yeah, so he
Wow.
always shout out to Red. But yeah,
Nice.
but I wanted this book to celebrate Westchester and tell
Hmm.
the stories of Westchester and
Yes.
and and like somebody mentioned Kool Herc in your comments. One of Kool Herc's DJs, JC, moved
Uh-huh.
to Yonkers early on, and he
Yes.
brought all of that with him. So
Yes.
Yonkers had a rich hip hop scene even before
All
anything
that
was
stuff.
going on, and
Yes.
and Yonkers kind of had a chip on their shoulder because when executives started coming up, they would come to Mount Vernon, which is the next
Hmm.
city over. They'd come to
Hmm.
New Rochelle, Grand Pooba, Master Ceremony, Brand Nubians, but
Hmm.
they were skipping over Yonkers, and Yonkers like we nice. Like the
Yeah.
Locks is the first one to really have a major deal out of up to that there was some independent joints, but there was no real major. No majors were signing nobody from Yonkers for a
Yeah,
while.
but I think that's, and if you really like analyze and really go back and look, that's because the bottom line is they didn't think they'd get any stupid money, like 70 million copies sold, 50 million. They didn't think that at first. It wasn't until someone proved that they were like, hold up. Then they all came in like vultures and said,
Right,
we'll sign everybody that's dope and let's get
right,
this money. Because what pisses me off about hip hop sometimes is that, and I can't blame any artist, because I know if it was me and someone said, "Yo, I'm gonna put you on and I'm gonna give you $50,000," and I ain't making nothing, that's like gold, right? But in the scheme of things, now we look back and say, "Dang, you shouldn't have took that deal, because now you locked in for 10 years and you ain't getting nothing but a limousine ride, right? And
right.
looking great and sounding great, but you ain't got no wealth built up, no generational wealth, nothing built up."
A
That,
lot of the people, like even when Tupac died,
mhm.
the cars wasn't in his name, his house or
Yep.
whatever he lived in, that was all in the label's name. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
None of that was his. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but the difference is now
Mhm.
when we signed, we were searching for a deal in '87. We signed, came out in
Mhm.
'88. You
Uh-huh.
had to sign to a record label
Okay.
to reach the world.
Oh,
There was
right.
no way for me to reach the world. Now you could do it in your basement and online you can reach the world. So there's people like I talk about who's next and West Puba's got a son, Stunner
Uh-huh.
Gang, and
Okay.
Jadakiss got a son, and these two they're not selling, they're not signing no record companies, but they're selling records themselves. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Through the
beauty.
internet,
That's
and everything,
beauty.
and they own their masters and they own their
Ooh,
publishing, and
ooh.
it's a different game now.
I love it. I love it. I just love that the social media thing has taken up so much that you literally can flip the script at any time. If you got talent, if you got talent, like imagine like a DMX coming out right now, like he doesn't even need a label. If he not next, you never get an X again, so forget that. I don't think you can ever repeat someone who's great again, in my opinion. So
Mhm.
X is who he is. Tupac is who he is. My death row artists and who they are. We can't mess with none of them. That's what they individual thing. That's what made them special. So whoever the next person is, if they know how to use the social media, boy, it's popping.
I got a lot of stories in here. Like there's a rapper named TQ, Top Quality. He's a first
Oh,
artist signed from White Plains.
yes, yes.
But
I was going to talk about him. Yes.
before he got on,
Mhm.
he went to Austin High School. Austin's where Sing Sing the Prison is.
Yes,
I
and
guess,
Austin.
right.
Yeah.
So he went to Austin High School. Though he's from White Plains, and he would win the talent show in eighth, ninth grade. He won the talent show in 10th grade. The 11th grade talent show, he needed to do something different, and he brought out this guy to do the beatbox. It was DMX. 1987 was the first time people had really seen
Get
DMX.
out.
So
Get
DMX
out.
used to do the beatbox before, you know what I'm saying? He used to do so. He got them stories, and then they had the same manager, and they would go to different towns throughout Westchester and in the Bronx and Harlem and battle whoever. And
Yes, battles.
so it tells that story, and then
Mm,
Puba. Puba, I got to know him in high school. I went to Mount Vernon High School.
okay.
My cousin Richard Dixon was from New Rochelle. Rich and Puba, Maxwell Dixon, were cousins on the
Okay.
father's side. And me and Rich
Oh,
was cousins on the mother's side. So me and Puba not related. So I got to see Puba and them in high school in the park way
right.
before, you know what I'm saying, hip hop. Like before
Those
y'all
are
ever
the
heard him on
days.
records. Yo,
See?
these dudes was nice. And I talk about those days in the park. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And him with Masters of Ceremony, and then him going on. And then I have an interview with Lord Jamal, who meets Puba in the Master of Ceremonies days, and then they break up a little bit and they get together and they start forming Brand Nubians, and he tells
Yeah.
that whole story about how that came about, and
Oh.
and then I got so when you do, like, if you're a writer, you're a journalist or something, and you
Mhm.
do a story, you get the experts in the field of whatever story
Of
you do.
course. Of course.
So I didn't want to just talk about how dope Westchester was. So I got Ralph McDaniels from
Ooh,
Video
nice.
Music Box to talk about the videos, the dope videos from Westchester. And he did the first two Heavy D videos. I got
Wow.
Kim Osorio, who was the first and only female editor in chief of The Source, to talk about it. I got Andre Leroy Davis, who used to do that last word in The Source, the last page with
Yeah.
the cartoon, talking about what it went into. The artists from Westchester he drew, like Jadakiss and Pete Rock and CL Smooth,
Mm.
as the Chocolate Boy Wonder and the Caramel King, like Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
Grand Poobah, like the Grand Poobah from the Flintstones. And he's
Wow.
so, since his thing was called The Last Word, he's the last word in my book too. And he gave me those drawings from The Source that he did back then of the
Get out.
Westchester artists. So I got him. I got Barbito from Stretch and Barbito.
Vito. I know Vito.
I got him. Who else? I got several others, and it was just, so I wanted everybody, to talk about how dope Westchester was, the 914 was.
That's amazing. Now, speaking of Babito, so here's the thing too. Do you go into any of the graffiti artists? Because I know a lot of them.
Yes.
Men One, Sam 153, James Tops, my
Well,
ex.
James Top, but I only go into everything's 914. So
Oh,
I, I
914.
know
Okay.
I know James, but there's a group called TGF, the
Yes,
Graffiti
TGF.
Force, and they had two legendary members, Rim 311,
Oh, was he
named
from
after
Westchester?
from Mount Vernon. I
Oh,
went to
I
high
didn't
school with him. Rim
know. I didn't
311, and he got the name Rembrandt. And the day he decided to call himself Rembrandt, it was 311 years since the artist actually died. So he Rim 311, and
know.
then Leroy Mack LM444, and
Mm.
and Rim is known everywhere through the five boroughs,
Yeah.
and so all the legendary graffiti artists, they all know Rim. So I was showing, and the TGF crew is where I got my name, AJ Rod. I
Oh,
went
okay.
in class, because I used to graffiti too. In class, there was a dude named AK Rock, and he named me AJ Rock. And there was
Uh-huh.
another member. His name was Daryl Rose, Derol, Daryl, but his graffiti name was Derock, Deroc. And it was
Okay.
the first time I ever seen the word rock with not both the C and the K. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was like, oh, that's cool. But you couldn't bite. So since his was with the C, I dropped my C and it was just a K. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
those are the two. That is the reason I got AJ Rock, and I used it in graffiti, and then I used it in rap, and I still use it. So I got my name. So I share that, and also with some b boys. B Boy London was one of the original members of the New York City Breakers. He lives in Yonkers.
Okay.
I got him
Why
to
they
talk
call them
about,
that?
huh?
Why they call them DJ London? You said what they
B
call him?
boy, B boy London.
Why they
Yeah.
call him that?
Well, he was a B boy, so just B boy London. Like
Yeah.
that was his
Yeah.
B boy name. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
so he was one of the originals he's in movies like Flashdance and a few other
Yes.
movies. You know what I'm saying? So I got
Was
him
he in
talking.
Bomb the System? Was he in Bomb the System?
I don't know all the stuff
Okay.
he was in,
Okay. That's all right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll look him up. I'll look him
but
up.
I but I definitely have a chapter on him
Wow.
discussing b-boying and all of that, and how it was in Westchester. Then you had people that moved here.
Yes.
Vance Wright, DJ and producer for Slick Rick. He lived in
Yes.
both Mount Vernon and New Rochelle when that whole um, Adventures of Slick Rick was out, and he talks about
Yes.
how they met, and he as an interview with him talking about how they met and everything. Then
Mm-hmm.
DST, who's DXT now, who's on
Mm-hmm.
that record with Herbie Hancock, Rocket. He was living in Mount Vernon, and
Okay.
one guy's telling the story in Yonkers. They had this big outdoor park thing where everybody came from all over,
Mm-hmm.
and DST had broke his hand,
Mm-hmm.
right? So his hands in a cast. So he's cutting and mixing and everything with one hand. And he's doing it better than the DJs out there with two hands. And that's when people was like, yo, that's when they was like, yo, he's the dopest DJ. We had people like Brother Arthur, who is now the head of Mosque Number 7 in Harlem. But he
Okay.
used to be Kid Dust with Zulu Nation on tour with Bambaataa and all of them. He's from Mount Vernon. So,
Oh.
even them early days, we had it going on, and I tell those stories. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And
Wow.
unlike the five boroughs who didn't look at us as real hip hop,
Right.
we the only area that didn't have to cross a bridge to get to the Bronx because we was right attached to it. And I
That's
got
right.
some, and then I do history in there.
Okay.
Back in the early 1800s, there was only one borough of the New York City. It was Manhattan. And then there
Ah.
was a referendum for Richmond County, which is Staten Island, Queens County,
Mm-hmm.
Kings County, for the city of Mount Vernon and the city of Yonkers. The
Mm-hmm.
city of Mount Vernon and the city of Yonkers didn't get enough votes, so it was just Queens, Kings, and Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island became boroughs.
Wow.
Then what they did is they took a portion of Yonkers and a portion of Mount Vernon, and they
Mm.
made this new borough called the Bronx. So the birthplace of hip hop is parts of Mount Vernon and parts of Yonkers. You know what I'm
That's
saying? So it's like, so
crazy.
we were there from day one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I explain all that, break down the history and all that and everything. So
That sounds amazing. You did a lot of extensive work on this. Um,
I
just
mentioned anybody who ever lived in Westchester. Little Kim lived in New Rochelle from the ages of 8 to 13.
oh,
You know what
did
I'm
she?
saying?
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that one. That's a
you
that's
can
a
you can Google it because someone told me and I had to Google it. Her pops was going upside the mom's head. She left and moved to New Rochelle. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So she was there. Then her moms, was single moms, couldn't hold it down with them and moved them back to her father in Brooklyn, like when she was 12 or 13. So
Oh,
even though it had nothing to do with hip hop, she lived here for a
right.
few of them early years. So and stuff like that.
Well, I still consider. I mean, I got to say, to me, she was one of the baddest females, besides
Absolutely.
Foxy. Besides Foxy, but I love something about her. I just always liked. I'm very peculiar on
See,
my hip
any
hop.
woman, any female that's doing it now,
Mhm.
the Cardi B's and all of them, that style that they have, Nicki Minaj and all that all
Mhm.
came from Little Kim. That Little Kim was the blueprint for all on some of that ratchet stuff that's going on now.
Yes,
The blueprint was Little
expressive.
Kim. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you certainly
So
did.
yeah,
I
you
got
had
it.
that. You had a lot of other people
Yes.
that came through here that lived here. Then with fashion, course, Diddy started Sean John, and you
Yeah.
had Groovy Lou, and you had Mike B,
Oh,
and you
Groovy
had
Lou, yes,
all these
that's right.
people, and then so I have all of that, and you
Mary J.
know,
Blige.
Mary J. Blige. Mary
Yes,
J.
I
Blige was
remember
discovered by Jeff Red
others.
in Mount Vernon,
Hmm.
and Jeff Red brought the tape to Andre Harrell in
Hmm.
Uptown, and then Mary's the one that brought the Locks tape to Diddy for Bad Boy. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it was just like, and then Grand Pooba was very instrumental in New Rochelle and Mary's early on. The first few records. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? They was with Pooba, and so it was just like that connection. Everything was connected. Everybody was connected to each other in one way or another.
Yes, absolutely. It's like so much stuff. What about I'm trying to think of the record that was it Breeze Brewing? What they do? I can't
Um,
the name of it. I
yeah,
couldn't
I
remember.
can't think of the name, and I'm
I
not
couldn't think of
sure.
the name, but I
I'm
know
not
that's
sure.
one of them. That was I'm trying to think what area he came out of. I don't even remember that
So
because
he came. So I know for sure he came from Westchester,
okay, yeah,
but I could not find information on him.
okay,
Like so there's other people I couldn't you couldn't find. There wasn't a lot of bios. There wasn't a lot of write ups on him.
right,
I couldn't find the artist, so they might not be in there. But he is from Westchester. I just don't know where, and I
right,
couldn't find a lot out about him. So
right.
it's he's not mentioned in the book, but
Okay, but
you
I
know
got
yeah, you got a lot of people that came through. Sporty Thieves from Yonkers, Rough House Survivors from New Rochelle.
you.
There was
Mhm.
so I found out a few things even after the book. So a few
Okay.
of the Force MCs that turned to
Mhm.
MDs are from Ossining.
Oh, really?
They lived in Ossining before.
How do I
Yeah.
not know
So,
that?
so I didn't know that until I did this
Because
hip
I
hop
lived
thing.
in Austin when I was younger, but I
I
was
did
like,
this hip hop thing with this organization in Austin, and they were naming people. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. Like, yeah.
wow.
So
I have
one
to
or
look
two
that
of
up.
them. So one or two of them is from Austin. So it's just like Westchester played this big role, and
Yes.
it's like nobody really knew. And then my paper's Black Westchester, so I'm documenting the news with the Black point of view. I'm
Yes.
documenting life in Westchester. But the book before that, I
Mhm.
documented all the achievement of Black African American women in Westchester. You know
That's
what I'm
so good.
saying?
So
So
you have something else. I was going to ask you about that because I saw
yeah.
something. There's
So
a
that
lot
was
of, I mean, so many
yeah.
people.
So
Even what's his name? Arthur Ashe lived here too. So there's other
yeah,
genres of great people that
right.
came out.
I
Yeah.
mean, in the woman's book, so after Malcolm X died,
Mhm.
Betty Shabazz moved to Mount Vernon,
Yes, I knew her.
and
She was
she lived
close.
in the '60s, and she lived two doors from Nina Simone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in Mount Vernon. Ella
That was
Fitzgerald
that's
spent
okay. Yeah,
Ella
I didn't know.
Fitzgerald spent a lot of time in Yonkers.
Yes,
You
I
know,
heard.
Fonda Ray, "Get Over Like a Fat Rat," one of my favorite songs, and Poopa sampled it. She from Austin. So
Yes,
you know what
wow.
I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, so I even show, the importance of Westchester. I got a thing about Westchester artists that were sampled, and
Uh-huh.
all the artists that sampled them: Atlantic Star, Stephanie Mills,
Mhm.
Vanessa Williams,
Yes,
Mary J. Case, and all the hip hop records that sampled them, all the artists who sampled them. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So you got that, you know what I'm saying, that level. And at the end, I do like what I call a discography of 914.
hmm
Um, all the records I can find that from artists from the 914, or at least one member of the group lived in Westchester,
Okay. Okay.
and so I got a list of that. And it's
Okay.
just a fun book
That's
that
nice.
it's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of list. It's a
Mhm.
lot of interviews, articles, stuff
Okay.
you wouldn't hear.
Huh?
I got a list of Pete Rock. They say Puff invented the remix. Well, that's true. If that's true, Pete
Mhm.
Rock reinvented the remix, and I
I
got
know.
a whole list of all the people who remixed. And I also got a quote from DMC, from Run DMC.
I love him.
He talks about how what Pete Rock did for them in that record, Down with the King.
On with the
He
king.
said he said Pete Rock revived their career the same way they did for Aerosmith when they did Walk This Way. And he said
Exactly.
after that song they was charting again, they was touring again. They
Yes,
was
I remember.
and so DMC's talking about how great, that influence what Pete did for him, and he's quoted in the book too. I got a quote from
Good,
him.
good,
So
because
yeah,
he doesn't get enough credit, Pete. He doesn't get enough credit.
no, Pete's throughout the book, just the
Yeah, good,
remixes,
good,
the people he produced,
good.
and
Because
then
I mean,
the legendary work that they did with Pete Rock and CL
Pete
Smooth.
Rock and
That
CL Smooth. Yeah,
the legendary work they did together, like
yes.
it's just
Oh, when they
you know,
reminisce over you, my
yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
So
the horns, everything in that is like gold.
yes, Pete's just on a whole nother level with the whole music thing, and
Agree.
um,
There's some nice people
I
out
got Heavy D's older brother, Floyd, and
there.
Floyd used to DJ. So
Uh-huh.
he would be like, when he would come home
Hmm.
to get ready to set up his set, Pete, his younger cousin Pete, had
Hmm.
came in the window in the basement, already had the set going, was already DJing, he was already in there all the time. So Pete, he tells that story and everything.
Hmm.
So I got a lot of the who's it? We always welcome to come over. I will show you my rap vinyl collection. He can listen on my 1200s
Oh,
DJ turntables.
yeah,
Now,
Joe, he's a DJ. Yeah, Joe's into he loves his vinyl.
so Joe, if you can see my name, my email is my name, Mr.
Go ahead.
AJ Woodson at Gmail. You'll see my name under my picture. That's my Mr. AJ Woodson at Gmail. Just hit
I
me
got you.
and
I
we could
got
build. Definitely we could build.
you. Yeah, he's
But
just
it's
yeah.
so many DJs, fashion, stylists,
Hmm.
Misha that was down with
Misha.
Bad Boy. She went on to do Little Kim and Mary and all those other people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there was just so many other people that came on so many different levels. And then,
Hmm.
I got a section, hip hop heads offering alternative, um, and turn healthy alternatives in the hood. Jada Styles P has the juice bar with Jadakiss.
Yes, I heard about that.
Jolo in the Rochelle, he was one of I down with Pete Rock's group I. He got Jolo's Kitchen in the
Mm.
Rochelle. Groovy Lou's supposed to be opening something in Mount Vernon, and so I just shared, how they went on, and then hip hop heads that have been published,
Wow.
DMX book Earl, and some of the other books that were written about hip hop.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow. So how
The
did you break?
producers, huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. How did you break it up though? Because it's so much good historical information. Like, how did you break up the sections to know that?
So
Like,
I start with the three music meccas of Westchester's Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, and Yonkers. So
okay.
I start with Mount Vernon and I break it down about Mount Vernon and all the things that came from Mount Vernon from back in the days to now. Then I
Mhm.
go into New Rochelle because that was, and the whole thing. And then I go into Yonkers and how Yonkers was slept on and you know what I'm saying and all that. So and then all the people that came from Yonkers and I break it down that way. And then White Plains, I break down a little bit of White Plains, um, TQ, top quality. And there's another dude
Yes.
that's
TQ.
big in hip hop that was from White Plains. I think he moved early on.
Hmm.
Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse. Yes.
He did this incredible
Right.
mixtape where he took the instrumental music of the Beatles' White album,
Uh-huh.
and the lyrics of Jay Z's Black album, and he
Okay.
mashed them together and made the Gray album. And he did it with the blessing of one or two of the living Beatles. They gave
Wow.
him permission to use the music, but the label who owned the music shut him down because you know what I'm saying. It was like they shut him. But then he went on to do a whole bunch of producing, and he went on to get with CeeLo Green and is the other member of Gnarls Barkley.
No way.
Danger Mouse. This is the same. Yes, that's Danger Mouse. He's originally from White Plains, so I talk about him and his transition.
That's amazing.
Ludacris has Mount Vernon roots. His parents, his father's from Mount Vernon. He was born in Atlanta, but his father's from Mount Vernon,
Okay.
and his manager Shaka Zulu is
Mhm.
is from Mount Vernon, New Rochelle. Him and his older brother Jeff Dixon, they were
Okay.
related to Pooba, and they managed Pooba and all of them. So
Wow.
then he went to Atlanta and shot, disturbing the peace and all that. He came from Mount Vernon. Dougie Fresh's father lives here in Mount Vernon. Dougie Fresh is not from here, but he's always here because his father lives here.
Okay.
So you see all the legends.
Yes. There's a
And then
lot. I mean,
and I met Slick Rick early on, because he was in the Bronx I lived on the borderline of the Bronx and Mount Vernon, so I
Mhm.
would see this dude. He was MC Ricky D then. He used to just
Oh,
be flat, flashy little dude, just
MC
with
Ricky
the
D.
rhymes. He was nice even way back then, way back then. He was nice, and then he got with Dougie Fresh, and they did the show, and then he got his own album after that. So yeah.
What's your favorite part about hip hop? Is it the rhyming? Is it the DJing? Is it the dancing? Is it all the pretty honeys that come out? What is it? What is it about hip hop
Well,
that
first off, everything we do is for the honeys. You said the honeys, and
I know that's right.
like
That's
with
yeah.
my group. So with my group, I didn't know what a manager was. We had a manager, but I would always have to go behind him and do everything. I didn't know
Mhm.
what publicity was. I just
Right,
wanted to see us in the magazine so the girls would see us.
right,
I didn't know what radio promotion was. I just wanted to get us on the radio so the
right.
girls would hear us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that, so everything. So, but I started out as a DJ, and
Oh
then
wow.
even before I started rapping, and I love all parts. I love every element of hip
Me
hop.
too.
I
Me
could
too.
beatbox a little. I was weak at the whole breaking thing. I could fake it, make you laugh a little bit, but I was really, I could pop a little bit, just a little, but I was like the ultimate hip hop head. So I
Right.
liked all aspect of hip hop. I
Oh,
like that feeling. I like that vibe. Just,
everything. Everything.
just
All the
like,
cute guys is what I like back in the day.
yeah, like,
Where's
being
all
in
the
the club,
honeys?
all them things you hear on tapes, to be at some of those events when all these groups was rapping and all these elements, and just the whole vibe of that is
Yeah.
just was
Yeah.
incredible. So I love everything about. I don't always like some of the directions it's going now.
No, now,
And I
what's
understand,
going on?
as I turn 58, I'm no longer the demographics that music is being made for, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
But I have to understand, my mother was telling me that what we was listening to was garbage.
Yes. That's what she said.
So yeah,
Well,
nobody
yeah,
in the
because they
beginning,
were listening to the spinners and stuff.
right,
So
right. So they didn't respect what we was listening. It was garbage. It was noise.
right, right.
But it was but it was the music that spoke to it spoke to us where we were. Unfortunately, whatever these kids is doing, it speaks to them where they are. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's
I like that lean
that's not for
music.
me.
That lean
Yeah,
music.
yeah. That's not for me.
No, me
What
neither.
what
I was
instead of
like, I
attacking the
don't want to
music,
lean on nothing.
right? Instead of attacking the music, we need to attack the situations that are putting them in the situations that they live in and making that kind of music, because that's reality to a lot of them. So
Right.
what up,
Well,
DJ?
that's
Did he DJ in
in the
Kisco?
Mayflower Center. Maybe
I'm
not
not
this.
sure. I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure.
Yeah.
I know there's a bunch of.
We did have DJs there, right, Emma? I remember we used to have some good parties over at that center. I ain't gonna front, and I didn't know who the DJs were back then. But looking back, I'm like, they was dope. They were
And
dope
there
people.
used to be parties in
In
the
my
Tuckahoe Recreation
yes,
Center. There used
yes.
to be parties in the all through Yonkers, Cerrado
Oh
Park,
yeah,
all the
White
parks and
Plains. Oh
stuff.
yeah. Oh
White
yeah.
Plains had
I used to go out to Queens. It's a long story short, but I used to go out to Queens with my cousin. And oh my God, that's where to me that was like the grounds of all the hip hop stuff elements coming together. And I forgot the name. Is it Skate Key in Queens? What's the name of that
no
place?
skate keys in the Bronx.
No, not Skate Key. It's the one in the Queens. Oh, what is this? A skate place. Oh man, what is the name of the place? I forgot the name of the place. But they used to have everybody there before they were big, and it was
And but see that was everywhere. See, everywhere has their. Now I'm putting it on the 914 right now, but
uh-huh.
every area had their thing going on. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like hip hop was getting to everything. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
everybody had their thing. Spring Valley. That's
Yep.
not that's not 914. That's above us. But Spring Valley was one of them spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's just like anywhere we were, that's where the music was. Because then
Yes.
when I was 7, my mom's moved me out to Long Island.
Okay.
But
Strong eye.
I would be out here getting all the tapes and bringing them back all the time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then I came back out here for high school. You know what I'm saying? My parents broke up. I drove my mom's crazy. She moved me back to my dad in Mount Vernon. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I had the best of both worlds. I got to I got to be around Biz and Craig Mack and
Oh, Craig
all of them.
Mack.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
before,
very
way
good.
before they,
Yeah.
way before they even made it. You know what I'm saying? I knew all of these cats before they made it while I was living out there, And then,
Yeah.
I went to school with Albie Shore, have, you
Sure.
know what I'm saying? I knew Poopa and them before they got started. So I got to see a lot of the, a lot of, I didn't
Pick.
know Slick Rick, but I got to see him, you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying, on the Bronx, Mount Vernon borderline all the time, MC Ricky D, do his
Right.
thing. And there was so many other artists. There's so many unnamed, everybody has their unnamed heroes, some unsung heroes that was holding it down way before there was recorded rap records. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I
Yes.
tried to pay attention. I tried to. The Smith brothers was a big crew in White Plains. They had a big sound system
Oh,
way back in the late '70s, early '80s. They was in the park. They was tearing it up.
yeah.
So there's a lot of people like that, and
Wow.
we just had it. So I just this is an education on the 914. But I always have to put this out there. Since I did the record Strong Island and I lived in Long Island,
Uh-huh.
all my Strong Island heads is like, where's the 516 book at? So
Ah, so
I'm
you got
gonna have
another one.
I'm
You
gonna
might be
have
the
to at some point I'm gonna have to do something about Strong Island hip hop. But being that I got Black Westchester as my paper, everything was Westchester, I
yes.
decided to rock out for Westchester, because this is where I'm born. Mount Vernon is where I'm
Yeah.
born.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fantastic, and it might go down in history because nobody has logged this stuff. Like we hear stuff and we see a couple Googles here and there, but to put it all in one package is a very very brilliant idea. So you
And I
guys,
have to say, there's so many more
mhm,
that are not in the book.
I know.
I'm not trying to say this is the definitive catalog of anybody who ever did anything, but that's
Uh-huh.
why it's called a look at hip hop
Mhm.
from the 914. It's just enough to
Wow.
give you a look of
Yes.
how it
Good.
went down and some of the key players. And there was so many more. You know what I mean? But this is a good look. If after reading this book, like I said, hopefully for those who didn't, we'll put some respect on the 914 when they think about the 914 and hip hop.
Oh,
So
they're gonna put some respect on it.
yeah,
They're gonna put some respect on it. They're gonna definitely do that because you covering all the good stuff. And I mean, I when I was talking to I interviewed talent comedian and some other
he's in the book. Big interview with
oh,
him.
okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
so I interviewed a couple of people like that, and I was like, dang, you got talent, you got who was another comedian, somebody else,
JB Smooth is from Mount
maybe
Vernon.
Smooth,
They're in the
um,
book. They're in the
other,
book.
yep, yep. You got so many people that, and I said, what is this? Something in the water that was good, even in even in hard times, people still there was a lot of people that made it, and usually you don't have a lot of people in one area that make it.
Talent used to be a rapper, so he was with a group called the Money Earning Crew. He was
Mount
on
Vernon.
he was on B Boy Records as well,
Okay,
and but they dropped their one single and the label went under. But
okay,
they still was signed to the label and couldn't go nowhere else, even though
uh,
Heaven and was trying to get them on Uptown at the time.
okay,
So at the same time, while they're trying to figure this out, Def Comedy Jam is starting to hold auditions, and
yeah,
Talent always knew at some point he wanted to transition into comedy. So he went to see what that was about, and then he ended up
uh,
talented comedian. He tells that whole story in the book. And JB Smooth used to be I seen him on a talk show, one of them late night talk show. He used to be a dancer for one of the rap groups back in the days. He used to be a hip hop dancer back in the days.
oh really?
He actually is the book paperback. The book is paperback.
Yes,
It is
yes,
available on Amazon.
yep. I got it right down there in the
Or
bottom.
you can email me at Mr. AJ Woodson at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you the PayPal's, Cash App, Venmo. You can
Yes,
buy it directly from me and get an autograph copy, and then I mail it out to you. I sign it and mail it out to you. So those are
yes,
the two ways you can get the book. I personally get more money if you get it directly from me. Amazon takes half the money, so
yes.
that's
I get
that's
it. I
just
get
that's
it.
just the course of business. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
so
Yeah, no, definitely. Wow. Well, that is amazing, and it sounds like a great book. I definitely have to get my copy eventually. I will get one. I'm just waiting till I get back to to the 914.
yeah,
uh,
and I'm trying to get into the libraries, like even
you should be able to.
with my woman's book. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And so the woman my woman's book, it's like 13 libraries in Westchester. They have copies, and I did a library tour. So
Right.
I was like, I went and spoke at all the libraries. I just
Good.
spoke at Greenberg Library last week. I'll be
Good.
doing this at Mount Vernon Library, Yonkers, and New Rochelle coming up soon. So
Okay.
Can I
Yeah,
buy?
all you
What
need
did I
is
say?
ISBN, right? Don't you?
Huh?
All you need is for the get in the library is the ISBN number, right? I
Yeah,
think.
but yeah. So
There you go.
they buy it from Amazon because they got to buy it from Amazon
Okay,
instead of buying it direct. They need, I don't know, for their records they got to buy it from like an
got you.
Amazon.
Okay, I didn't
But
know how
yeah,
that worked.
so yeah, but there's several libraries that have the book. But I've been doing author talks where I go in,
Mhm.
I do the whole talk and then afterwards I sign books and sell books and stuff like that. So I'm doing that. So yeah, I'm really excited about this because Black Westchester got me into doing a lot of politics, dealing
Mm-hmm.
with politics. Can I buy it from you in person? Yeah, if you want to come to Mount Vernon, just hit me at Mr. AJ Woodson at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We'll link up. I'll tell you where I'm at. You can come. I'm just outside. I just sold 6 books earlier before. On my porch, I was signing some books.
Yes, yeah.
That's what took me so
Got
long.
it. Wait, is this
Um,
right? Is this right there,
Mr.
Mister?
AJ Woodson at gmail.com. That's it.
There you
Yes.
go.
That's,
Okay, Joe,
yeah,
check that.
that's what
Yeah,
took me so long while I was late. I was
yeah,
actually signing some books, and then when
yeah.
I came in and I saw you, I was like, "Oh, I'm late." That's what I told you. I was like,
Yeah, Joe is a good dude. I know him. So he's not just a random person, but I know him. He's one of my good viewers for years and years.
"What's up,
But
Joe? Good to meet you, Joe."
so we finally met. But just to let you know, he knows he's not no random guy. So he's
No,
really
no, no. But you coming to buy a book? I tell you, I tell anybody where I'm at. They come to
he'll
me.
come
They can
through.
get it directly from me, or
Come
or they hit me on Cash App or whatever, and add $5 for postage, and I mail it to them. I'm at the post
through.
office 3 days a week,
Got
mailing
you.
out stacks of books.
Got you.
Yeah. School bus company is in Mount Vernon.
That's
Okay,
where you were.
okay,
Yeah, that's where you were. So that's good. That'll be
okay,
better.
okay.
Okay. Good. So that's awesome. So tell me before we go, tell me what exactly in one sentence do you want viewers to take away from that book?
One mainly,
Mhm.
um, um, just to learn about the 914 and how important it was in the 50 years of hip hop, all the talent that came from here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You'll see some stories. You'll hear some artists you never heard of.
Right.
All the artists the Locks, all of them, celebrating all of them.
Mhm.
And it's just a celebration of hip hop from the 914. And like I said, I had to kick it off with a dedication, a tribute to Heavy D and
Okay.
DMX, the two legends that we lost.
Oh,
So there's a big and I even got quotes from my congressman who was a big DMX fan, and he's talking about being at his first summer jam. The Hot 97 used to have the summer jam,
mhm.
and the
Yep.
DMX music came on, and he was like, you could feel the beat in you. He said they were standing on the chairs. He's describing all this, you know what I'm saying, as he was coming up.
Yes.
And he a U.S. Congressman now, Jamal
Wow.
Bowman. So
For Jamal Bowman, yes.
yeah, I got quotes from him. He's a big hip hop head. So
Yes.
he
I
grew
know
up
him.
on hip hop. So he's in the book talking about hip hop as well.
Well, thank you. Wow, this is going to be exciting, guys. If you can, go out and get your copy. Make sure you give it to your kids and let them know love hip hop so they know what the real deal is. And 914 can be on the map. You know what I'm saying? Well, we already on the map. Forget that. We
Oh,
already on.
also shout out to my man Craig. I mean Chuck from All Hip Hop. He's in the book. I said
Really?
Ralph McDaniels,
Okay.
DMC, Kim
MC,
Osorio, Barbito,
Babito.
AL Dre, and several others.
Yeah,
Interviews with
Babito's dope. I think he
yeah,
did my
interviews with Lord Jamal, Talent, and Vance Wright, and several others. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Well, well done. Well done. Well done. We'll be looking out. Guys, look out for the book. We got our own thing. A look at
Yes,
hip hop
yes.
from the 914. It's available on Amazon. Make sure you check your copies. Go get your copies rather. And you can also reach AJ. I put it up in the chat for you. So if you need to follow
And social media, you can find at Mr. AJ Woodson on every form of social media.
that
That's my
Mr.
social media at Mr. AJ
AJ
Woodson. Yeah,
Woodson on social. On
yeah. And then my
social.
email, you just put a Gmail after that at Gmail, and that's the email. So yeah.
Okay, got it. So there you go. If you need to reach him on any of the social media, there he is. Instagram, Facebook, whatever. All
I
right.
just want to thank you for this. I do this. I interview people. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you for letting me run my mouth on your platform and promote my
Of
book. And
course.
You know what I'm
Of course.
saying? You know,
Of course, we love all things that enlighten my audience, and we love anything artistical entertainment. That's our thing, because I always believe creativity is a way to deal with everything that's going on in the world. So whether you write,
absolutely,
sing, pop, dance, whatever it is, we love it all. So
absolutely.
I couldn't help when I saw you. I was like, yo, can I get this guy in here? This book is phenomenal. Let's go for it. So thank you for taking time, because I know you're busy. I know you got 500 things to do.
Yeah, I got my podcast in an hour. So yeah.
Oh, go ahead. So see, that's
Yeah.
why
I'm doing the importance.
these
I'm
guys.
doing the importance of the black vote, and the importance of the
Oh,
election coming up,
oh, okay. What
and I
channel
got
is that? Is a podcast?
it's podcasting. It's on like I'm like you, StreamYard. I'm on Facebook,
Okay.
LinkedIn.
What's the name of it? So we'll know to look for it.
People before politics.
People. Oh, I thought I heard that. People
Yeah, if you
before.
go to the Black Westchester YouTube channel, you'll see it. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see it. And
There you
our
go.
LinkedIn page, yeah. So
Okay.
so um
Good.
so
I
yeah,
got you.
we were so I got the presidents of all the local NAACPs, and we're gonna talk about the importance of the black vote and the elections coming up. We're gonna be talking about that today.
Okay, good. So, well, guys, check them out. I wrote it in the chat. You can go and look through, and
And
please
the
be my
website's Black Westchester at blackwestchester.com. That's the website.
Black Westchester
So
at.
the blackwestchester.com. That's the online magazine, but we also do a print newspaper monthly too. So
Okay,
the
we will
news
be
with
checking.
the news with the black point of view since
Okay,
2014. Yes, sir.
okay, that's the view right now for me. I need it. I need it. So you guys, make sure you go out and get a copy of that book. Please share and like the video, whatever, however that goes, because of whatever. Most importantly, we hope you learned something new about all our great artists in the 914, and RIP to DMX, because that's who I think of when I think of greatness in the 914. So.
Absolutely. And Heavy D. Don't forget Heavy
And
D.
Heavy D. Oh, Heavy D. My bad. Yes, yes, we can't forgive the Heavy D. I mean, there's tons, but when I think immediate, but close. So yes, Heavy
Yeah,
D.
Well,
Thank
DMX, yeah, he wore 914 on his back. Yeah, he
you.
let you know he was from
Everybody
Yonkers.
wanted to be from 914 after that.
Yeah, he was not just 914 Yonkers. And every city in Westchester claimed him. And
Yes.
every city, because he lived
Of
here for a
course.
minute. He was
Yes.
born in Mount Vernon. He lived
Yes.
in New Rochelle for a minute.
Yes.
Every
But
city claimed him.
you know what it is about him? He gave so much to the community. That I love that. No matter what he was going through in his life, I don't care. It ain't my business. What was my business was when I used to see him and his wife giving out turkeys. Come on.
Not even that. It just for the holidays.
Yeah.
You see him on the beginning of 4th Avenue, what would you call it, Ave?
Yeah, I
And he
remember.
would be with like a couple of $1,000s in 20s, and all kids that walk by, he would just give them a 20.
Yeah.
Like, just, you know what I'm saying? And he was just like, and there's a couple of kids came back a second and third time, he still would give it to them. And
Yeah. Oh, you
and he
back again? I see you
and,
right back again. What are you doing?
and
What
it
you
was
trying to
just
do?
like the kids, and he always made sure that the kids had something.
Yeah.
And he always did for his heart was incredible. Like,
His heart was amazing, and his wife, excuse me, a former wife, Tashira,
yeah.
amazing. His kids are amazing. I've seen them feeding the homeless. I mean, they just be out here.
He got a
You
little
know.
daughter that raps too. Like she
Yes. Yes.
doing some of his records over.
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw her. I saw her. She's so cute. Yeah. But thank God, he's left some good legacies. I think we're gonna see some great things coming out of those
Absolutely.
children. So I'm excited about that. But thank you so much, AJ. You're the best. I know you got to go, and I appreciate you so much. Viewers, I appreciate you as well. And we will see you guys next week. And if I would have been on it, I would have had my title for next week. But since I don't, I'll just say I'll see you next week. And AJ, hang out for 1 minute. Here we go. Bye, guys.